Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about a recent news where India has added 3 new Ramsar sites as per the announcement made by the Union Environment Minister. So in this video we'll try to understand where are these Ramsar sites, what are Ramsar sites in general, and what is their significance as far as the environment and climate is concerned. So first of all, let us try to understand the background in which we are discussing this particular news. So recently, Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav has announced that total 3 new Ramsar sites, that is 2 in the state of Tamil Nadu and 1 in the state of Madhya Pradesh, has been added, and with this the total number of Ramsar sites in India has risen to 85. The new additions, if you look at the Ramsar sites which have been added here, so first is the bird sanctuary, that is called as Nanjarayan Bird Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu. Second is the Kazu Valley Bird Sanctuary, and then we have the Tawa Reservoir, that is on the dam of Tawa River in Tawa Dam, that is in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Now, Ramsar sites are also known as the wetlands of international importance, and the concept of Ramsar sites derived from the Ramsar Convention. Ramsar Convention was a convention signed somewhere in the year 1971, and it was this convention which led to the establishment of landmark Ramsar sites, which helps in raising the awareness around the world about the key ecosystem, that is largely the wetland ecosystem. Now, if you try to understand about the wetlands first, that what do we mean or understand by the term wetland? So, wetlands as per the Ramsar Convention are defined as such. First of all, these can be in any area which are marshy nature, which is a fen, which is a peatland, or any water body. Now, here marshy area refer to such area which is basically swampy in characteristics. Fen is also similar but having a higher organic content, and peatland is such marshy area where organic content is highest, while water body can be anything such as lakes or reservoirs. Now, these wetlands or these water bodies can be natural or artificial. There is no such restriction that only natural water bodies can be considered as a Ramsar site. They can be either permanent or temporary in nature. Not only that, it includes all kind of water body, whether it is static or flowing water body. Also, as far as the salt content is concerned, any kind of water body, fresh water body which is having generally salinity less than 0.05 parts per million, brackish water body having salinity between 0.05 to 30 ppt, and then salty water with generally more than 30 to 35 parts per thousand, including areas of marine water. But here the restriction is the depth of such marine water at the height of such water should not exceed 6 meter at the time of low tide, which is the lowest level in the coastal areas that you observe. Now, if these all criteria are met, then any water body or any ecosystem can be considered as a part of Ramsar Convention. This definition includes all lakes, all rivers, and also underground aquifers, swamps, marshes, and any other major water body, as you can understand from this particular definition. Now, if you look at the importance of wetlands in general, wetlands has a tremendous role to play in overall regulating the climate. How? It is the wetlands that uses the method of carbon sequestration, where they capture the carbon from the atmosphere and then store it, removing it from the atmosphere and storing it on the ground. The plant communities, basically, if we talk about, that grows in the wetlands, or even the soils of the wetlands, they are the one who are engaged in carbon capturing activities instead of releasing the carbon to the atmosphere, and especially the carbon dioxide, which is the most significant greenhouse gas that is contributing significantly to the global warming, and also we can consider it as the major driver of global warming, is something whose concentration can decrease by the wetlands. Then wetlands are also, as per the report of United States Environmental Protection Agency, also referred as US EPA, it has clearly stated that wetlands are the most productive ecosystem in the entire world and can be compared to even the rainforests as well as the coral reef. Now, when you talk about the productive ecosystem, it basically refers to the amount of biomass that is generated in the ecosystem. Other point is an immense variety of species. Not only the wetlands are important for regulating the climate or overall minimizing the effect of the climate change or global warming, rather it also supports a wide variety of species that can be as small as microbes, they can be plant life, they can be insects, amphibians, reptiles, birds, fish, and even mammals, and can be part of this ecosystem. So it supports a diverse ecosystem, it helps in regulating the climate, and it has a tremendous role to play in overall climate, in overall we can say environment and ecosystem. Now, when a wetland is included in the Ramsar site, then what is the Ramsar site? So first of all, the Ramsar Convention that we have discussed was signed on the 2nd February 1971 in a city of Ramsar, that is in Iran. If you look at this map here, this is a Caspian Sea which is having a border with Iran and other countries as well, and it is on the southern end of Caspian Sea, southern coast of Caspian Sea. As you can see, you have a small city that is called as Ramsar, and it is there where the convention was signed in 2nd February 1971. It is to celebrate the signing of this convention every year on the 2nd of February. We celebrate World Wetlands Day as well. Now, the Ramsar Convention, the main objective was to encourage both protection as well as the conservation of wetlands worldwide by designating them as such, so that the more effort can be put over these wetlands, on these wetlands, and also overall the collaboration can be done between the state government, central government, as well as international governmental organization or non-governmental organizations as well. Now, the selection of Ramsar site is based on various criteria defined under the convention. For example, if you look, a wetland should be considered internationally important if it has to be classified in the Ramsar site, if it supports plant or animal species which are in the critical stage of their life cycle, or provides refuge during the adverse conditions. Also, it also looks at the site's capacity to support fishes and the water body. So these are just example of criteria that is used by the convention to declare any water body as a Ramsar site. Now, as far as the partner organizations and nations of this convention is concerned, two major organizations have played a role in coming up with this convention. The first is IUCN, that is International Union for Conservation of Nature, and other is WWF, that is the World Wildlife Fund. Now, apart from these two organizations, as of now, total 172 countries are signatory to this convention, with India being the major one. Now, they are obligated, once the countries sign this convention, they are obligated to create wetland reserves and also promote the wise use of wetland habitats. Wise use is very important term, because if you start using the resources of wetland, it can even lead to over exploitation that we see in many areas across the world, including India. For example, if you look at the Sundarban mangrove areas, there is instances and cases of over exploitation of the forest resources, either for using it as a fuel wood or to use it for construction of boats by the fishing community, or even in many cases for construction of the houses for the people living in coastal areas. Now, if this use is sustainable in nature, that means if you are using the resources and resources are able to regenerate over a period of time, then obviously it can be considered as wise use. And this is something that has to be promoted. Now, India joined the Ramsar Convention not when it was signed, but almost 11 years later, somewhere in 1922. And when India joined the Ramsar Convention, total two water bodies, one the largest saltwater lake of India, that is Chilka Lake in Orissa, and other is the Keola Dev Ghana National Park in Rajasthan. These were included as the first site, Ramsar sites in India. Later on, country has also the highest number of Ramsar sites in Asia, as we discussed in the beginning of the video, and the major Ramsar site, that is also world's largest delta, that is Sundarban, is one of the most renowned wetlands that we have in India. So that is all about what we can understand the partner nations and the wetlands in India. Now, the new Ramsar sites, let us try to understand and take a look at these new Ramsar sites. So first of all, the Ramsar site is the Nanjarayana Bird Sanctuary, that is situated in the state of Tamil Nadu and is located on the bank of river Noyal. Now, originally it is a water reservoir that was used or that has been constructed for using for the irrigation purposes, and it has since become a significant ecosystem supporting a wide range of avifauna. Avifauna refers to the bird species largely we are talking about. For example, It is home to several species of birds such as Eurasian coot. You will find spot-billed duck as well as many types of herons are found here. Not only they support the avifauna, but also the wetland serves various migratory birds flying along the Central Asian Highway, or Central Asian Flyway is more appropriate term, because the birds are flying through the Central Asian Flyways, establishing itself as a biodiversity hotspot. It also contributes to the locals' livelihood because it has a huge fishing resources which can be used and exploited by the local fishermen for sustaining their livelihoods. That is all about the first Ramsar site. The second Ramsar site is Kaju Valley Sanctuary, that is on the Coromandel coast. Coromandel coast is actually the lowermost coast of eastern part of India, eastern coast of India. In the British time, the upper coast was referred as Northern Sarkar, and the lower coast that spans over the state of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu was referred as Coromandel coast. So, the Koju Valley Sanctuary is situated in the state of Tamil Nadu on the Coromandel coast and is considered as one of the largest brackish water wetland in the South India. Again, to revise, when we talk about brackish water, it refers to a water body having a salinity in the range of 0.5 ppt, that is 0.5 parts per thousand to 30 parts per thousand. Now, ecosystem is basically unique in the sense that it does not have a single type of water body. Rather, it is a mix of salt marshes, you have mud flats, as well as shallow waters, making it a home to many globally endangered species such as black-headed ibis, as we can see from this picture here, and also greater flamingo you can find in huge number in this bird sanctuary. Also, it is important for the migratory birds because it is an important stopover for the birds who are migrating along the East Asian and Australasian flyway. Then Australasian flyway basically here refers to Australia and further Asian region, Oceanian region, and then the East Asia refers to the China and all these areas. Now, in storing water, Kaju Valley also help with flood control as well as groundwater reservoir, helping maintain the region's water table. So, not only important for from supporting the biodiversity, but also is helpful and important for the local community, local people. The third and last Ramsar site that has been added recently, as we have discussed, lies in the state of Madhya Pradesh along the Tawa river, where an artificial dam has been constructed. So, the Tawa reservoir, as we can call it, is integral in regional water management of the given area. Now, it was created by damming the Tawa river. The reservoir become a massive wintering ground for the migratory bird. Wintering ground means in the winter time, the bird species from the areas facing severe winters such as Siberia start to fly and come toward the warmer areas, India being the major one, and then they further migrate to the African region. So, Tawa provides irrigation water to farmlands, drinking water to the local communities, and also sustains the nearby fisheries. So, again, not only important and significant for the biodiversity for the bird species, but also significant for the local people. So, these are the three, we can say, areas or wetlands that has been included as the recent wetlands. Now, the most important point is, as we have raised in the beginning of the video, the main objective of Ramsar Convention was to protect and conserve the wetland and to promote its wise use. So, in this context, let us also try to enumerate what are the major threats wetland basically faces. So, wetlands protect the environment, as we have discussed, from the floods and storms, as we can think of Sundarban mangrove areas, Sundarban deltas. Whenever you have strong cyclones or storm surges that try to strike the eastern coast of India, it acts as a protective barrier. Also, it absorbs excess rainfall and serve as a buffer against the impact of extreme weather events. So, the wetlands obviously are a protective barrier against any kind of meteorological or oceanographical, we can say, natural hazards or disaster. Now, this is all more important because the climate change is something that we are witnessing with every passage of year that has impacted the severity of such incidents. Example being the severity of cyclone in both Indian Ocean as well as Atlantic Ocean, plus the frequency of such adverse weather phenomena have also undergone significant increase. Now, in this context, the Ramsar Convention in the year 2018 came up with a report that is referred as Global Wetland Outlook, State of World's Wetlands and their Services to the People. And as per this report, it has stated that 35% of the total wetlands that we have across the globe were lost in the years between 1970 and 2015, with human activities contributing to their destruction. So anthropogenic region is one of the major reasons why the wetlands are basically threatened and they are getting lost. So, as per the WWT, a very notable organization, Wildfowl and Wildlife Trust, based in the United Kingdom, it has said the total 4 major threats are there that wetland of today faces. The first being the unsustainable development, especially the infrastructure development, the development of the coastal areas, and we have the building up of houses and all this that is happening. So, an astonishing 87% of the world's wetlands have been lost in the last 300 years due to the, we can say, diversion of the land, wetland, for the housing industry and agriculture. Similarly, the second major threat is the pollution that is increasing obviously due to the overpopulation, due to the increase in the greenhouse gases emission. So around 80% of global wastewater that is released into wetlands, they are untreated. And due to this, the pollution from the factories, industries, fertilizers from the agricultural runoff, pesticides that you have, as well as major spills, oil spills that is happening in the oceanic areas, poses serious threat to the ecosystem. Third is the invasive species. Wildlife in wetlands are particularly vulnerable to invasive species, and they're often introduced by humans, sometimes intensely, sometimes unintentionally, because water provides easy pathways for them to spread and grow. And one example of such invasive species we can write and know about is called as Lantana camara. It is an invasive species and it invades at such a fast rate in the wetlands of West Bengal that it has been also named as a terror of Bengal. So such kind of invasive species threatens the, we can say, threatens the wildlife, threatens the, we can say, biodiversity that originally lies in the wetland areas. Then last we can talk about is obviously the climate change, whose impact is being felt across all the spectrums of our life, including the wetlands. So the changes that is happening in both the temperature as well as the rainfall patterns pose an existential threat to the wetlands and the flora and fauna that inhabit them. Especially if we try to understand this, also the effect of these can be felt in the coral reef ecosystem that is lying in the coastal areas as well. So unsustainable development, pollution, invasive species and the climate change, these are the 4 major challenges that the wetland of the world are facing today. And it is in this context, Ramsar Convention is a very good step that has been taken by the international community to protect, sustain, conserve and promote the sustainable and wise use of such water bodies. That is all for this particular video. Thank you very much.